Okay, here I am out camping again in my Nemo tent. A lot of you saw my first video I did about a year ago, and I titled it The Best Tent I've Ever Owned. Now here it is a year later. I've been all over Texas camping. I've been all over Colorado camping with it. I've been in thunderstorms. I've been in everything. Stay tuned and I'll let you know if it's still the best tent I've ever owned. Be sure to stay tuned to the end of this video, and I will be doing a Q&A answering some of the questions that people ask in the original video I did on this tent. Okay, in the first video I did, I kind of made it look a little harder than it is because it was the very first time I ever set up the tent. So hopefully I'll make it look a little easier. Basically, this is one pole. You have two poles for the whole tent. So you have a loop that goes over the top, over the front, all the way down. It goes in the holes. Then you have two poles that go to the back into those holes. And the same thing on the back. It's very simple. And it's got the tether lines. It's got the little lines inside it. So there's no wrong way to put it together. So let's just get started here. Here's the curved piece, so we know this is the loop. So this will be the one that goes straight down. Got a shorter one that goes straight down. You got a longer one that goes to the back. Looks a little crazy when you're putting it together, but really simple. I say it's simple. I mean, I'm not doing camera anymore, but. Okay, so once you get all the pieces together, stick the front two in the holes, that one in that hole, come over here, put this one in that hole, and then you got the two sides, or the two backs, this together, and it goes in the hole there. Sometimes the front comes out, you gotta stick it back in. All right, over to here. This one in the back hole. There. I'm breathing heavy because I'm out of shape. But I am trying to lose weight. I have a quest to get down to 200 pounds. I'm gonna lose 43 pounds. I'm already down 12 pounds. So wish me luck. Okay. So that's one pole. Now you have the exact duplicate of that on the other side. All right, we're all together in all the holes. That was simple, right? Two poles. You got a wagon top. This is the wagon top there and there. Okay, once you get the two poles up, all you got to do is just clip the clips to the poles. As easy as that. I always start in the back because front's open. And it's pretty simple. Just clip the clips. Kind of like to do the back up that far, then clip all the sides. It's just my preference. Then you'll start to see how easy it really is. And that's it. Basically, we are set up. Okay, what I like to do is I don't put the portico on at first. If there's not a chance of rain, I don't even put it on at all, but I'm going to put it on because I've got a refrigerator freezer that I'll need to keep out of the sun, so I'm going to be able to put it under there. But I hold off on zipping the front up or putting the portico on until I get my tent loaded. Once it's loaded, then I can do that. Just makes it easier to go in and out loading stuff. Okay, let me give you the grand tour in case you didn't see my video I made 1 year ago when I first bought this tent. Here it is 1 year later. You got the windows on the side. You can close that up like that, but I just leave it like that because it's going to get cold later and I'm going to need to shut it up. This is a window up here that comes down. There's a window there you can close. Snaps on the ends, goes there. People keep asking me about rain. Like, there's no rain fly. What do you do when it rains? The way these things are built, see, if rain comes through here, it's going to hit this. And this is stretched out way over there. So any rain that comes in, I mean, it would have to blow up there, and it just doesn't. When this is up against there, and that's tight, and this is tight, it doesn't. I was in a really, really strong storm in Estes Park, and it rained and rained and rained. The wind blew real hard, and not a single drop got inside this tent. This thing is built very, very well. It's very good for summer, winter, rainstorms. You'll see later I'm going to set up my heater in here, and I'll show you how to ventilate the heater just right too. Tent's almost loaded up with my gear. And now I'm just waiting for my self-inflating pad to inflate along with my pillow. Got the rest of my gear in here, my bedside table. Okay, this is how the door zips up. Got the two front windows open. You can open this side or the other side, or you can drop the whole thing down. I usually have my door on this side with my welcome mat, and then have a window on this side. Now let's put the portico on here. All right, there's clips in here that these clip to. Basically just clip the clips on. And there's two clips on the bottom. Then you just put two stakes in and you're done. All right. One stake here. The ground's soft enough you can just push them with your foot. One stake here. And there you have it. When it's cold or rainy, I cover it up like that. But the rest of the time, I just open it up and peel this back. And there you have it. Just a little area of added protection, and with that vent up here always open, if you get a rainstorm, it keeps it from going inside that vent, and that vent keeps it well ventilated because you got the bottoms down here. Air can go up through there and up through the vents up here. I've been in a rainstorm and it didn't condensate inside like tents usually do. I think it's all because of this vent right here and having an airflow coming up underneath this portico. Keeps it from being all stopped up and stuffy in there. Okay, for a little added protection, I got these guy ropes on here in case you have a storm. So let's tie these up. That'll keep your pit from blowing away. Got a vent there and vent there. So I can have my propane here without getting carbon monoxide. You gotta admit, that is a nice looking tent. All right, so some of the things I love about this tent, it doesn't have the sliding poles that go up into the little sleeve like my last tent did. You just clip these clips on the pole that's already there. That makes it so much more convenient. Did I say that Nemo gives a lifetime warranty? So that means if your zipper starts coming undone or something starts coming unraveled, you have a lifetime warranty from Nemo. That is just, Nemo makes great stuff. Most of the time when people ask, what's a good big roomy tent that I can get with a tall ceiling, everybody says the Gazelle. The problem I have with the Gazelle, and why I didn't buy a Gazelle, instead I bought the Nemo Wagontop, is for one, the Gazelle has a shorter ceiling. It's only 2 inches, but it's still shorter. The biggest downfall is it's 10 pounds heavier than the Nemo. The Nemo is 20 pounds, the Gazelle is 30 pounds. And that's not even the biggest. The very biggest downfall I found in the Gazelle is the size of it. There's no way I could fit the Gazelle in my little trailer I pull behind my motorcycle. I mean, the size of this thing folded up is humongous. So let's talk pack size. This is my Nemo tent right here packed down. It is about a little over 2 feet long. And you're like, okay, so how much longer is the Gazelle? This is the Nemo. Let's follow all this way out past the table, and there's 68 inches right there. It's almost a foot longer than that table. I mean, if you got the room, sure, go for it, but man, that takes up a lot of room. Okay, now for a little Q&A. Some people have asked me questions on my first tent video. These are all questions that people ask me down in the comments. Number one, have you used it out in the rain yet? I'm wondering if the window design lets water in, and also if the design prevents ventilation in bad weather. I've had this tent out, as I said earlier, in some big storms. No leaks, the windows don't leak, nothing leaks. It runs right off, and because of the little vent on the front, the ventilation keeps the inside from condensating like most tents. Always been a rainfly type of guy. I was wondering if you ever had this tent in a torrential downpour and how it handled condensation and how dry it stayed. Same answer to the first question. That's actually my biggest question I get, is what it does in the rain. And I'm here to tell you, phenomenal. Have you tried it in warmer weather? Curious how ventilation works in the heat. Ventilation is awesome with this tent. I do suggest getting a fan anyway because I live in Texas. I think most people know what Texas is like when it gets hot. Having some moving air, even though the tent's ventilated really well, having some moving air blowing on you is so much better. All right, someone said it's no good when things get a bit colder. Is that true? From your description, it looks like maybe all you have to worry about is just that one window that's meshed. Is that true? Okay, when it gets colder, any tent's gonna be cold when it gets colder. What I do is I have a buddy heater that I use in my tent when it's cold, when it gets down in the 20s and stuff like that. And the cool thing about this tent is you can open the door window just a little bit, and between that and the upper mesh window, it just ventilates awesome. That keeps you from getting carbon monoxide poisoning, all that kind of good stuff. Anytime you have a propane heater in tent, you need to make sure you have ventilation. Another question, looking at this in the 6-person model, how has yours held up? Flawless. I have not had one problem with this tent. I've had it a year now and it's been perfect. I haven't had any problems at all with it. How well does this tent do in high wind? I was a little concerned about that because of the ceiling is so tall. So I was a little concerned about that when I bought it, but as long as you put guy ropes out all the way around, if you have a tree, tie it to a tree. If you don't have a tree, stake it out. I've been in some really, really strong winds and it has not blown away. It has not done anything like that. So yeah, as long as I wouldn't put it up in high winds without the guy ropes. Okay, now the answer to the burning question that's in the title of this video. Is this still the best tent I've ever owned? Without the shadow of a doubt, absolutely it is. As always, I hope you enjoyed this video and y'all have a good one.